Yeah, so hello. So what I'm doing here today, I'm going to show you a little technique to add a little bit of an extra touch to a piece of fish. What I've done, I'm going to add some potato fish scales to this piece of skinless halibut. And I'm using this little mandolin. I have it set for about 2 millimeters. That's not a big deal. And some small potatoes, some like little, almost like fingerling type of potatoes. And I'm going to take those slices that I just made, and I'm going to put them in this melted butter. Here we go. We're going to stick the slices in the melted butter. I want to make sure they get all coated really nice. And what I'm going to do is lay them out on here to make them look sort of like fish scales, big fish scales. Now, just to add a little extra interest, I use two different color potatoes. I have some white potatoes and I have some purple potatoes. So what I do here is I just lay them out so that they overlap and they look like they're fish scales. Lay them out here. So first I'm going to do one side like this, one side in the white, and then it's almost like the fish has two different types of scales on its body. I'm going to do the other ones with these purple potatoes, like so. I got them all laid out here, and there we have it. Okay, so I'll show you that. Here's what it looks like. It looks like, you know, it's kind of like these big fish scales from potato. And then I've got them here, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of the extra butter, and I'm going to spoon that over the top like this. Now, what happens now is I'm going to take this and I'm going to put this in the refrigerator for about a half an hour. The idea being is I want the butter to cool and I want it to hold everything together in place. So I'm going to put this in the fridge, and then we'll come back and we'll cook it. See you in a few. Okay, so we're ready to finish this off. I got my fish ready here. You can see it. It's got, the butter is kind of hardened because it's been in the fridge, right? I want to hit it with a little bit of salt and maybe just a little bit of pepper. There, give it a little bit of pepper. And I'm ready to put it in a hot pan. The pan's pretty hot. It's kind of like a medium high. I put the slightest little bit of oil. I don't really need much because I have all that butter on it. This is just, again, I'm trying to help it to get that nice crust on the fake scales that I've got here. So I'm going to flip this down. Okay, now I got that down in there. And it's a pretty hot pan. And so the thing is, I'm not trying to cook the fish. It's a thick piece of fish. I'm not trying to cook the fish all in the pan. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get that crust set on the potato. I'll flip it over. I'm going to stick it in the oven to finish. In the meantime, while all that is happening, I'm going to make myself a little horseradish mayo to go with it. So I have an egg yolk in here, right? I'm going to put in a little bit of mustard, not much, just a little. There we go. And a squeeze of lemon. Okay, squeeze of lemon. And what I've got is a mixture of peanut and olive oil here. And so I'm going to start whipping this up to make the mayo. So I get the yolk going and I drizzle this oil in very slowly. All right? You can see the fish is cooking. This is I like to use this whisk. I've done this before, I think. I like to use this electric whisk rather than you could do it in a food processor if you want to, but I think you actually have more control if you're doing this. And I don't know how much oil I'm actually going to need. I just have to go for that consistency. I'm emulsifying the egg yolk and the oil together, and I want to get that nice mayonnaise consistency for it. And you can see it's starting to come together already. I can go a little faster once it really starts to come together. All right, I have got mayo looking good. All right, you can see, you check this out, it's a nice mayonnaise consistency. Now I want horseradish mayo, right? So let's flip this over because this ought to be just about ready to go over. Yeah, there we go. Up, it fell apart a little bit. That's okay. That is okay. We'll just put it back together. I feel like Julia Child now when she had that incident with the crepe that she was making, and it ended up kind of missing the pan. All right, so that's going to do that. It's going to be fine. All right, I got that. I'm putting in some freshly grated horseradish into that. And in order to amp up the flavor, the horseradish flavor a little bit more, I've got, this is probably, I'm going to put in about, oh, I don't know, a teaspoonful of powdered horseradish. Okay. And this is going to go into the oven to finish. 325 degrees, and I'm just going to cook that until the internal temperature comes up to about 140-ish. Okay, so that's pretty much it for now. What's going to happen is we're going to come back. I'm going to correct the seasoning in here. I'm going to add a little salt now, but ultimately I'll correct the seasoning in this, and we'll be ready to plate this just in a few minutes. So we'll be back. Okay, so I took the fish out. It was around 145 or so. Let it sit a little bit, let the carryover cook it. You definitely don't want to overcook halibut. You can see here, I've got my little fake scales here, my potato scales. And so what I'm going to do is plate this. I have my nice thick mayo here. Just do that. Get a nice layer of mayo on the bottom. And we're going to take this piece of halibut and we'll put it right on top. And maybe we'll put a little more on the side just for the heck of it. There you have it. I'm going to give it a taste now. Take it from here, from this end. Look how nice and flaky that is. Look, the mayo. So it's really tasty, it's really flaky, it's really moist. It's nicely seasoned because of the mayo that I made. And then this potato on the top just gives it this nice little extra crunch, you know, a nice crispy thing, and nice texture to it. And just, it looks really pretty. So that's a little technique for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you try it. See you soon.